So we have a very, very special guest who's going to join us in studio in a matter of seconds. Love this guy, big fan of his content, big fan of what he represents, what he stands for, how he keeps it real, and how damn successful he is. And he's way more courageous than I'll ever be because he's fought twice. He's had 2 boxing matches. One as an amateur, one as a pro back in 2022. He fought on an MVP card against Chris Avila. He fought on a Creator Clash card earlier that year as well. I mean, he really is a man of so many great talents. His name is Mike Varshavsky, but really the whole world and his millions of fans, his legion of fans know him as Dr. Mike. The one and only Dr. Mike is here with us in studio. What a great pleasure this is. There he is, my guy.
Hello.
How are you, sir? It's nice to see you.
Dare I say Dr. Helwani?
If you want, but I don't deserve that.
Do you have a PhD in the fight game?
No, I don't. Okay. I wish I did. Okay. Maybe like...
I thought they give shows only to...
No, I have a lot of awards.
Okay.
I've won the award 15 years in a row.
Okay, what's the award?
MMA Journalist of the Year.
Oh, wow.
It's not bad. Voted on by the fans, which means a lot. Okay. But not quite as prestigious as anything you want, including Sexiest Doctor.
Well, that's the one thing that's my claim to fame. Unfortunately,
did you get like a plaque for that or something?
No, I got nothing. I did get a call before it happened, and I thought it was a prank from my friends.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
A call saying we've awarded this to you?
No, they say we're considering including you on this list.
Okay.
Send us a picture. We may or may not use it.
Oh, wow. And then you find out when it becomes public?
Yeah, like the magazine comes out and boom.
Did that like do good things for your dating life? Now all of a sudden everyone's talking about you. They want to be associated with you.
You know what it was? It's a weird time because I'm trying to be a serious professional.
Yeah.
I'm in my residency training and I want to be a good doctor. And then all of a sudden you're getting all these shows that are talking about your dating life, asking, who do you want to date? Can we set you up with someone? And I'm like, I want to talk about healthcare.
Yeah.
So how do we get back to that? And it was a weird line for me to toe for a long time.
Okay, but now you're well past that.
Yeah, it's been almost a decade now.
Yeah,
actually, hold on, it's going to be a decade this year. That's
yes, 2015.
Yeah.
You're killing it. The YouTube channel, the podcast, everything is incredible. Everything you're doing. Do you still practice?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I could come visit you.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I think you have to come visit me.
We
got to make sure you're healthy to keep getting these awards.
Why?
Who are they going to give them to?
That is a good point. Why do you still practice?
For the love of the game.
Okay.
When I first got my popularity, people assumed, oh, you're leaving social media. I mean, you're leaving medicine, right? For social media. And I'm like, no. The reason why I do social media is because I think it makes me a better doctor. And that's a weird thought, right?
Yes.
You wouldn't think media and medicine go together. But in reality, me being on social media, researching topics for episodes, understanding audience retention graphs, makes me a better doctor in the exam room.
Okay.
Being in an exam room, I learn what is tricking people, what questions they have, what language I need to use to explain a medical condition to them. I bring that to social media. So it's actually been a pretty rewarding and surprisingly symbiotic relationship.
And there's never a point where you want to do less of one and more of the other?
I think always having a healthy balance is valuable to me. Also, social media is really heady. Like millions of people watching your content is not something I grew up with.
Right.
I never understood what it would be like having people hate you for doing the right thing. Yeah, people hate you.
Why? Hate you? I feel like you have like an approval rating like 98%.
I wish. I mean, I don't think that exists these days. And if it does, it's like maybe in a snapshot of time.
Sure.
I think in reality, even if you're trying to do the best things for children, it's like, well, why aren't you focusing on adults?
Right.
Or if you're focusing on adults the other way. And right now, I feel like with the amount of misinformation that there is with healthcare, there's reasons that people hate me, and they're not valid reasons, I would say.
So it's interesting because I was watching the video that you made after the iDubbbz fight.
Yep.
So 2022.
Yep.
Creator Clash.
Yeah.
And you talked about being the heel.
Yeah, that was
fight,
weird.
and how it made you feel weird because you weren't used to that. Fast forward 3 years, are you more comfortable, not with being the heel, but with criticism, negativity coming your way?
It's not natural to have that many people dislike you. Like, we can picture your friend disliking us.
Yeah.
You can picture a group of people disliking you. But to picture thousands, millions of people writing negative things to you is a really weird scenario. And that's why I feel a lot of people who are in the social media sphere get in such a dark place, because it's completely unnatural to deal with. With the iDubbbz fight, which was weird and why it was so surprising to me, was because it happened so suddenly. Like, up to the buildup of the fight, there was no heel in the equation. It was just people raising money for charity. And then as I'm walking out, you have people booing me.
Yeah.
You have people cheering him and making out like I'm a villain. I'm like, all right, let's do this. I guess this is all for entertainment. And it was actually a pretty fun fight.
So going back to that era in your life, you had that fight, I think, in June. And then
Yeah, in May probably.
May, okay. And yeah, late May or so. And then you had the Chris Avila fight like a few months later, 5 months or so later. And then I thought, all right, like Dr. Mike is fully entrenched in this influencer boxing game. Even going back to that Chris Avila fight, you're talking about like, this isn't the end of me, you know, but you haven't had any fights since.
You know what I'm upset about? I think there's less excitement about the influencer boxing space.
Yeah.
I feel like it went one of two routes. It either went, Jake Paul is now becoming a professional fighter, more legitimized, fighting real people, or the other way where it kind of became a sideshow and there was like these brawls and beefs that people were settling in the ring. And there wasn't actually an appetite for people like me who wanted to respect the sport, wanted to get better in the sport. That being said, I did get back to training in the last couple of months.
Okay.
Trying to get back into shape. I'm
Now, when you
I'm
say
open
training,
to the
are we talking
possibility.
boxing training?
Boxing training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you stop for a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely
Why?
stopped. Not any specific reason other than it's so time consuming.
Yeah.
I mean, people underestimate how hard it is to train to have a professional level fight. You're doing 2-a-days, 6 days a week. You're watching your calories. So after the fight, I definitely ballooned in weight. I wasn't taking care of myself physically. It also was hella demotivating to lose a fight on that stage.
Yeah, you were
Like,
so bummed afterwards.
Of course. I mean, you train really hard for it. And you want to do the best that you can. It still keeps me up some nights.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, I want to prove that wasn't the end of me. But it's hard to find that ideal fight. There's no place for us right now.
In the
Influencers
immediate-
need a home. Creator Clash just got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
But in the immediate aftermath, like, so that was end of 2022 and 23. Did anyone reach out or at least take your temperature?
there was some potential talks about a rematch for that fight. I actually ran into him in Dallas. I think you had him on the show, and he
Yes,
said,
yes,
why
yes.
is Dr. Mike challenging me to a rematch?
Yeah.
It's because I couldn't live with the outcome. I thought I deserved to do better. I didn't think my efforts and training showed on that stage. I thought I could do better.
So one thing that was really interesting about it was, and I wanted to talk to you about weight cutting. That's a big thing here, in our world. You came in a little under. I think you came in at like 182.
Yep.
And for some people who are watching, like, oh, you know, you came in at 182, but often if you come in that low, 3 pounds under, it's actually a sign that you like overshot it, right? That you made a mistake.
Sure.
And then you talked about in the aftermath about just kind of being really tired and kind of being zapped. Also talked about like, it was fascinating to rewatch this. I don't know when's the last time you watched it, but you talked about.
I watch it too often.
Okay, you talked about like having you were feeling numb before the fight.
Right.
No motivation. You were back there just
No
kinda,
fear, no motivation.
That's so crazy.
So like,
I would be like crapping in my pants. You're about to make that walk on pay-per-view.
I'll make an analogy that is medical perhaps, and maybe people can relate to it. Those who struggle with PTSD, the actual diagnosis, not what people colloquially call as
Sure.
PTSD of, oh, I drank some bad water, next time I drink water, I have PTSD. Actual PTSD. Those people sometimes, to control their emotions, because they have outbursts or extreme bouts of aggression sometimes, they try and downregulate their emotion. But when they do that, they don't just downregulate those aggressive emotions. They downregulate the positive emotions, the fun, the joy in life. And as a result, their life becomes pretty black and white and meaningless. So for me in that situation, obviously I didn't have PTSD, but what I did have is that I blocked everything. I blocked the fear, but in tune, I also blocked the fun, the excitement, the adrenaline rush that I needed to have to step in with a killer like
Wow.
this.
And you weren't expecting that.
I had no idea. I mean, that was my professional debut.
Right. And what do you think the weight cut did to you in terms of like that energy?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of the weight cut plus maybe not great planning for my training. I mean, I was on the week of the fight, 5 days before, I was in Central Park running 7 miles. I probably shouldn't have been doing that.
Right.
But, you know, you're new to the game. You're trying to figure it out. You want to come in over-prepared. Maybe I overshot it. Maybe it was just too soon to enter in the ring with someone as experienced. If we look back at most professional fighters, they have tune-up fights.
Yeah.
They have easy fights. Jake didn't go in and start fighting these MMA fighters that he's fighting now, some boxers. It took a while for him to get there. Maybe I rushed it.
Was there any part of you that thought, I want to do this actually for a living? Or was it always just
For a
fun
living,
thing?
no, but I definitely wanted to continue. I mean, I really loved the game. It actually got me out of a really dark place, as I'm sure it does for a lot of people.
What kind of dark place?
When I was in medical school, I was in this like 7-year accelerated program. So 3 years undergrad, 4 years medical school, all combined in order for you to become a doctor early. And I finished it. So I was a doctor by the age of 24. Very exciting. But in year 4, which was the beginning of the medical school portion, I lost my mom to cancer. Brutal timing. I mean, it's never easy to lose a loved one. But the first year of medical school is notoriously the hardest year. I wasn't living at home at the time, so I moved back in with my dad, ended up commuting 3 hours a day to medical school, keeping a tremendous workload. I was in a bad place. So I wasn't taking care of my mental health, my physical health, but boxing got me out of that. I got a boxing group on, started taking a class, really fell in love with the sport, allowed me to get out of that negative cycle, and I owe a lot to boxing as a result.
Wow.
So that's why when I did that fight, and both fights actually, I said, I'm not going to take this easy on myself, not just for the love of the game, but for my respect of what that sport has given me, as small as it may seem to some.
Did you receive any backlash from your fans, from the medical community? Because here you are promoting health, fitness, and that is healthy what you're doing. You're getting into shape, but you're also getting punched in the head, and you're doing something that's very violent.
Obviously, they thought I was wild for doing it, but they sort of saw what I was doing as a test for myself. They also understood the fact that I'm encouraging people to take a boxing class, punch a bag, punch some mitts, not become a professional fighter. I was solely doing that for myself, understanding of the risks. So I would be doing the boxing videos, but constantly highlighting the risks for people. When a patient comes into my office, I don't sit there like an angry teacher or parent telling, you better not do this. I tell them the risks of their choices, and then it's up to them if they want to make a change. I could help them with it, but they don't have to make the change. Right. So doctors saw that that was a passion of mine. It meant something to me, and I understood the risks, so they supported me.
And when you did that, you were still doing the channel, you're still doing the content, you're still practicing.
And I was going on a live tour at the time.
Geez Louise, how did you balance all that?
There was a lot in 2022. It was probably the busiest year of my life. I mean, one wasn't a pro fight, but one pro fight, one semi-pro fight, live tour, multi-city.
Was it too much?
I mean, who's to say?
Well, did you feel burnt out at the end?
I mean, who's not burnt out these days? I mean, social media burns out everyone, but it was a fun year. It was a year that I'm never going to forget. And it's a year that constantly keeps me challenging to do better this year.
And as far as like your patients now, how many, are there patients that don't know that you are Dr. Mike?
Yeah, most don't.
Serious?
Yeah.
They don't go to you because they want to go to the celebrity doctor?
No. They go to my practice because they're patients of the practice and they either happen to see me or they've been my patient from residency training days.
Wow.
10 years ago, 11 years ago. I can't believe I've been a doctor for that long.
Is it appropriate to ask where you practice?
Yeah, Atlantic Health, Overlook Medical Center in New Jersey. That's where I did my residency training, and I'm still there. And in addition to seeing patients, I'm clinical faculty there, so I train the future generations of doctors in their residency. Yeah.
And how many days a week are you in your office?
2, alternating with 3.
Okay.
So on average, 2.5 days a week.
And what kind, like, why am I going to?
Anything.
Anything.
Which is what makes it fun.
Wow.
That's like, I want to bring more excitement to the field of family medicine. I think we need to realize that that's the foundation of healthcare for an individual and a healthcare system. And also encourage young folks to go into family medicine. It's one of the lowest paying specialties. It's one of the least specialties that it gets people excited to go into. And I think that's wrong. It's so fun. You get to develop a relationship with patients. Like someone can come in to see me. I can make a change in their life and I'll see them 5 years down the line, year in and year out, doing better. Seeing the fruits of the labor that they put in and the changes that we made. I mean, it's truly a special field. So I think more love needs to be given to family medicine.
And is it true that you donate your entire salary?
Yeah.
Wow. To who?
The hospital. Overlook Family
give
medicine.
It back?
Yeah.
Wow. And why is that?
I'm really blessed. I mean, social media is amazing. Both of the fights, I donated my paycheck to different organizations. The Chris Avila fight was for the Harlem Boys and Girls Club. I mean, like, we're really lucky. Like, the fact that you're sitting here, you have this awesome space, you have awesome people working with you, an audience listening. To me, that's like a mirage. That shouldn't be happening, yet it is.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to do the most that we can with this fame. Because if I look back to 15 years ago, doctors, healthcare, politicians, everyone will look with fame as something negative. Like fame is a way to sell snake oil. But I realized like with fame, you could have impact. You could do good things. You could help a lot of people. You could raise money. You could educate. And that's sort of really the premise of my entire platform. I wouldn't be making content if I didn't think it was helping as many people as it does.
At this point, how many people work for your production?
Probably 10 people full time. And then you have some people that come on project basis.
And do you have a studio?
I have a studio, yeah. I film out of home. And then I also have a podcast studio here in the city.
This could be a full-time job.
Easily. I mean, our podcast, we launched it a couple of years ago, and 3 days before the U.S. presidential election, Vice President Kamala Harris called and asked to come on.
Wow.
I mean, like, we're having serious impact. Of course, like, this is huge that we're able to do this. And what I'm most proud of is not the scale. That's cool. Not the fact that we did a professional boxing fight on Showtime pay-per-view, RIP. Yes. It's the fact that we've stayed true and transparent to the accuracy of information. In this day and age where you could trick people, the best content is usually the most controversial or aggressive content. We've never gone into that. And yet our viewership rivals the people who have done that. And I want young folks to see that and say two things. One, I want to be a YouTuber. They all say that, right? That's the number one job kids want to have. But do something before you become a YouTuber that's worth bringing to YouTube, A. B, when you do, tell the truth because you can be successful by telling the truth. Most people think they have to sell out in order to be financially successful. Look at us. Do better than us and you'll be even more financially well off.
So to that point, I was just going to bring this up.
This is becoming like a inspirational
conversation. I like that. You know why?
We should be talking about fighting.
There's so much negativity. And I notice like in your videos and even not just your own, because that's your community, but when you do interviews with other people, people give you props for saying, thank you for not selling out. Thank you for being true to what you believe in. Thank you for not trying to trick us and all this stuff. And, you know, in this world, in the world of fighting, we see this, I see it all the time. Everyone has their new thing that they're doing. And, you know, I will be straight and ask you, there's an individual named Gary Brecka who's now come onto the scene because he changed Dana White. He made Dana White realize that he was going to die in 10 years and he transformed everything. And I was telling my guys in the back, the producers, like, oh, I'd love to know what Dr. Mike thinks of Gary Brecka. And then we found a tweet where you reference Gary Brecka, right?
Tweet, videos. We've done whole dedicated YouTube videos.
What's a product you've banned from your home after learning what was in it? Gary Brecka videos.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. And so this is the 10X doctor, right?
Yeah, I think he has a lawsuit going on with 10X. Okay. Or maybe that's settled. I can't.
So what's the issue with Gary Brecka?
I mean, it's saying medically sounding words completely incorrectly, devoid of any factual accuracy, with no hesitation. I mean, I'll give you an example of something that's on your desk right now.
Uh-oh.
Celsius.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what he said about Celsius?
No.
He said that it's made at a sewage plant. He said that it contains cyanide. He fearmongers constantly without understanding the ramifications of what he's saying. And that's not to say I love Celsius or that it's not problematic for young people to drink it. It's just the fact that what he's saying is inaccurate and no one holds him liable because he's not an actual doctor. I mean, for Dana White to peddle this gentleman as some sort of medical expert when his medical expertise is that he worked for an insurance company and he calls himself a human biologist, which I guess anyone can call themselves a human biologist once they have a bachelor's degree in biology, is irresponsible. I think it's wrong. I think it tricks people. It leads people to make wrong decisions in their life. And that's why I've been so critical.
So when you see this stuff, does it make your blood boil?
It only makes my blood boil for one reason. It hurts my patients. I'm there going to bat for them, and I see how that information tricks them. I see how the head of HHS right now, Secretary Kennedy, is actively misguiding and lying to people.
How so?
In fact, if you let me call someone out for a boxing match, I'd love to fight RFK Jr.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I mean, he's literally lying to the American public. On his Twitter/X page, whatever you want to call it, he has a tweet that says, Gardasil, the vaccine that we use for HPV prevention, is hurting more people than it's helping, based on zero logic, zero understanding of how the vaccine works. He's constantly saying unscientific things, and he's in charge of our largest scientific agencies, FDA, CDC, as I said, HHS. So yeah, let's get him in the ring. In fact, let's do one better.
Okay. I love this. Wow.
Let's get the Misfits folks.
Yeah.
And we could do one of those tag team things that you love.
Oh, yes. I do love them. They are fun.
You kind of switched your opinion.
Yeah, I did.
So let's do RFK Jr. And since he has a fanboy in Jake Paul,
okay.
Let's do Jake Paul and RFK Jr. versus me and Canelo.
Okay.
Jake wants to fight Canelo. I want to fight RFK. Let's do a tag
By the way,
team.
can I just be honest?
Yeah.
I thought for a second you were going to say me.
Oh,
and I was getting ready. I was getting ready to say, I got your back, Dr. Mike. But no, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
By the way, you and Jake beefing?
No. I mean, he did call me out when I said something negative about RFK Jr. He attacked me.
He did?
Yeah.
Where?
Twitter.
What'd he say?
He called me a sheep doctor.
Really?
A book-thumping sheep doctor.
I'm surprised by that.
I don't get it because I've supported the MVP organization.
I saw you at the fight just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, Amanda Serrano's family.
Sure.
I'm going to support her through anything. But yeah, I would love to see that fight. And some people would be like, well, RFK Jr. is older. Why do you want to fight him? Excuse me, Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson.
Sure.
I'd even let RFK Jr. stay on his steroids.
I was just going to ask you, is he natural?
No.
Do you have any issues with that?
No. He can stay on the TRT. I don't mind.
Okay. How do you feel about TRT?
I mean, when it's used appropriately for people who have low testosterone, it was
a treatment that heavily in MMA and the.
It's been abused. I see it abused in my young population right now. I just had a gentleman, a famous social media, I guess he's more of a reality TV star, Harry Jowsey, came on and explained that he went to some clinic, told him that he wants to be jacked, and they put him on testosterone. And that's not testosterone replacement therapy. He's basically juicing.
Wow.
And no one talked to him about the risks. He wasn't aware. And we had to live tell them that on the podcast. But that's happening all across the globe. People are misusing testosterone over and over again. And some people do it even in a trickier way, where they get insurance to cover it by doing this little sick scheme. You ready for this?
Okay.
In order to get an accurate level of testosterone in your blood, you need to draw the blood first thing in the morning. That's how you get an accurate level. What these clinics do is they have people come in later in the day, draw their blood, send it out, say it's the first thing in the morning. They have low test, insurance pays for the testosterone.
Oh, geez.
There's schemes about this. There's a great doctor, Dr. Dubin, who went to different testosterone clinics requesting testosterone. No one even checked his levels.
Jeez.
He went undercover.
Wow.
So it's a propagated scheme now.
Would you ever want the job that Senator Kennedy has?
No, but I wouldn't mind Surgeon General.
Okay. Why?
Because I believe the Surgeon General's office is, what their goal is, or what their job should be, is to translate complex medical topics to the general public. When there's a discrepancy between what the CDC is saying, WHO is saying, or FDA is saying, it's their job to explain it. It's their job to bring the focus on major health problems. And I feel like we already do that on the YouTube channel.
Right.
And we have 100 million views a month on it.
Yes.
So why can't we just do that for the U.S. government?
Have you ever met him?
Senator
General?
Kennedy. Oh, Secretary Kennedy. No.
Yeah. Okay, so would you be open to a debate with him? Would you like
a
to
debate, a boxing match,
everything?
Everything. I'm down.
Okay. Wow, this is incredible. By the way, have you been following this Ben Askren story?
Of course.
So double lung transplant.
Right.
All of a sudden, he everyone was telling me he was dead. His close friends were like, "This is not looking good. We're preparing." And then all of a sudden, he makes this incredible recovery and gets the surgery. But there was some talk that the insurance wouldn't pay for it. How is that possible?
I mean, insurance in the United States is a disaster. It's a hybrid system. You never know who's paying for what. You never know if you're going to in-network or out-of-network hospitals. I did in my live show, I talked about a story of a gentleman who's a teacher, younger, healthy, athlete, had a heart attack. Terrible, right? Paramedics take him to an out-of-network hospital. He's in crippling debt as a result. He was insured, he's healthy, he's doing the right thing, and now he has this crazy insurance debt. The only reason it was waived was because media got wind of the story and the insurance company wanted to squash the story. But that's a disaster. We shouldn't have to call our networks, meaning our news networks, in order to get insurance bills fixed. But that's kind of the state of U.S. healthcare these days.
Better in Canada?
I mean, I can't say better in Canada because I'm not a Canadian healthcare expert. They have their own troubles, perhaps different than ours. But what I will say is that the reason Ben Askren was able to get the transplant that he had, was able to get better, despite the state that he was in, was because of amazing medical research and researchers that conducted that research. And right now, Secretary Kennedy, President Trump, all the individuals who are doging U.S. healthcare research by cutting NIH budgets, cutting USAID budgets, pulling us out of the Gavi alliance, are crippling our ability to fix these problems. So while we might not be feeling it right now, in the next 10, 20 years, when people go to the hospital and we don't have an answer for them, you could point to these individuals, and that's the reason.
What's he looking at? You know, because he had this video where he's on this bike, this like he's like sitting, and then he's like, I'm back. I'm not going to let this, you know, break me, define me. And then the next day he's back in the hospital saying he had an infection. Obviously, he looks dramatically different. He's very skinny. What can life be like for him now with a double lung transplant?
I mean, it's going to be a drastically different life than before. He's going to be on medications likely for the rest of his life. I'm not his doctor, so I don't know his exact condition.
Sure.
But when you're taking certain medications after a transplant, it usually is to calm your immune system to prevent it from rejecting the transplanted organ. When you do that, you can open yourself up to opportunistic and other infections. So you can be more likely at a higher risk to develop an infection. So when we're thinking about vaccines, why are they important? Yes, they're important to protect our children, but it's also important to not have resurgence of diseases that can impact individuals who have gotten transplants.
Okay.
Literally, the year 2000, no measles in the United States, like eradicated. Now, the biggest outbreak we've ever had in 30 years.
Wow. Why is that?
Vaccine hesitancy. Why? We have the head of HHS fueling vaccine hesitancy.
And does this all date back to 2020 because of everything that happened? People all of a sudden, because it wasn't so
there's always
controversial.
multifactorial. I mean, you're going to have always some people who may be taking an anti-vax stance. There's people who have conspiracy theories about vaccines. That's kind of always been there, even dating back to smallpox, polio, all of that. But what's happened now is that there's been such a fueling of the misinformation because of social media and because of the way our government handled the COVID-19 pandemic, is that it brought parties together that used to disagree and hate each other. RFK Jr. ran for president as a Democrat.
Yeah.
He's an environmental lawyer that is worried about climate change. Or I guess I should say was worried about climate change. He is now on Team Republican. He's drastically changed sides. The anti-vaccine movement was a liberal movement. It has now made its way into the right-wing movement. Like, President Trump called it his vaccine. Project Warp Speed was a President Trump miracle. It saved millions of lives. And yet now, members of the right wing, the Conservative Party, have completely flipped sides. So I don't get what's happening.
I saw you do a video where you went up against 20 anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, Jubilee's actually catching a lot of flack for that right now.
Why is that?
That series Surrounded. Because they're having a lot of people on who are not debating out of good faith.
Okay.
They're just trying to stoke flames of racism, just like terrible issues in society, people who support Holocaust, all these issues that is a disaster. And like why they're choosing to do it in the way that they're doing it, I think they need to answer to that.
Going back to Ben for a moment, can he be an athlete again? Or
I mean, it's hard to say.
Okay.
Hard to say from my perspective.
Just based on like like he can't walk at the moment.
I'll put it to you this way. When someone has an injury, not even taking into consideration how heavy his surgeries were and such, neurologic injury, let's say, to make a prediction is just a full-on lie. You have to wait to see how the body rehabs. You have to see clinically how the person progresses before you can make any kind of recommendation or call on when they'll return back to normal.
How long does that take? Is it like a year before you can know?
At the very least.
Okay.
At the very least.
I wanted to ask you about some recent injuries in combat. You're great at these reaction videos, so we wanted to be able to take advantage of this. There was a fighter named Stephen Wen, who fought on Saturday against a fighter named Muhammad Yahya. This was the, I'll show you here. This was the aftermath. Have you seen this one yet?
No, I haven't seen. I did see you tweet something that this should have been stopped earlier. Is that what you said?
It was shocking. 5 knockdowns in the first round, which is a record. In total 6. I thought there should have been 7. This fight should have been stopped maybe 3-4 minutes into the fight. It went all the way to the end of the second, and then the doctor stopped it going to the third. MMA 3 rounds, right?
Okay.
That was his eye, and that was the opponent's eye, who lost, obviously. And they said afterwards, no damage, like no fracture.
I mean, like, what do you mean no damage?
They said no fracture. He's all good. He went to the hospital. He's all good. How is that possible? How is there? I mean, clearly there's damage, but there's no fracture there.
Yeah, suspicious.
Yes, right.
I mean, that's a lot of bleeding.
What is that?
That's a hematoma.
That's a hematoma.
Yeah, that's a collection of blood there. But usually, when you're having that much bleeding in an area, there's a high probability that there's a broken bone. In fact, like if you're a doctor and that comes into your office and you're not scanning it to look for a fracture, you're practicing malpractice.
Is there any chance though that there's no fracture?
I mean, look,
Crazy
the
things.
body can do crazy things. So like, obviously I can't rule it out. But again, assuming it's not is just a wrong thing. Like you have to assume it's there and prove otherwise.
People who are MMA fans will say MMA is safer than boxing because of the lack of repeated blows to the head. Do you believe in this based on your knowledge?
I think it's so individually dependent.
Yeah.
I think it's too hard to say. I will point out that these other sports that are coming up with, I don't even know what it's called, when they're like running into each other and they're trying to tackle one another as fast as possible, or the slap boxing
Slap
thing.
is crazy, right?
This is like, someone needs to come out and speak out against this.
So please.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be stopped. I'm actually filming a video on the topic right now because
On slap.
yeah, I mean, not just slap, but like the most dangerous sports. And to me, like it takes the worst part about combat sports and accelerates it. Like, why is boxing problematic? Repeated blows to the head if someone's not protecting themselves. And here, the whole point is to not protect yourself and take blows. So it's literally taking the unhealthiest aspect and removing the healthiest aspect, which is all the cardio, the training that's required to box. So like, to me, it's a nonsense sport.
So you refer to that as a hematoma. What was...
Yeah.
That's a hematoma.
Yeah.
Guys, can we go to the Joanna picture? You know this one because you did a video on it. We'll just skip and then come back because Joanna on Jacek, when she fought Zhang Wei Li, had a hematoma. What is the difference between that hematoma, if any, and the one that Mohammed?
Just location.
Just location.
Yeah.
Is one worse than the other?
No, just because a hematoma doesn't tell you how bad something is. It just tells you that there's a collection of blood. And a collection of blood is a bruise. Like that's what a hematoma is. So when someone like hits you and you have a bruise on your skin, that's usually the superficial blood vessels, capillaries that have ruptured and are bleeding. But usually it's contained. Unless you have incredible damage like some of these MMA fighters or boxers, then it swells up. And you get all these inflammatory cells that bring all these immune-mediated responses in and create massive edema and swelling.
Could it pop?
Yeah, easily.
If someone punches you?
Yeah, I mean, they used to do, I think this was like in one of the Rocky movies, like where they would like, the coach in the corner would cut it. That we shouldn't be doing that in the corner and sending people out. No.
No one should advocate for that.
No.
Okay, what about this cut here?
Not in the corner.
Yes,
like maybe as part of a medical treatment, we do that to release pressure. I mean, bleeding inside the cranium, inside a skull, needs to be open and a craniotomy needs to be performed. But you're not doing that.
Right.
Like location, location matters.
This Irene Aldana cut, I want to show you this cut. Have you seen this cut? It's gruesome stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yeah. Lots of flesh. I will say, like, in my medical training working at level 1 trauma centers, you see a lot of gruesome injuries.
So this
you know
is
what
like
usually the worst that we see?
Yeah.
Knives and bikes.
Bikes.
Not necessarily motorcycles. Those are terrible, but bicycles. Like I've seen some of the worst accidents.
Really?
People riding bikes. So people on city bikes and public, please be careful. Wear your helmet. Watch out on the streets.
Is it more head injuries or
everything? I mean everything, because you can't control other drivers. You can't control someone jumping in the way and you having to make a reaction. So
you don't get grossed out by any of this, right?
No. I mean
this is just like
decade in,
you're
nothing surprises me. Yeah.
Okay. Here's
the only thing that gets me in the medical space is for some reason gagging. Like when I see a patient gag, it
that makes you gag.
Yeah.
Really?
Like sometimes we put these nasogastric tubes in for patients that are inpatient. And if you don't put them in correctly, they can kind of twirl up inside the mouth instead of going in the place where they're supposed to go, the stomach.
Okay.
And when that happens, patients gag. Oh man, I've been in situations where I had to excuse myself out of the room.
Really? Is that embarrassing
can't
for you?
Control it. Yeah, I mean,
I
want to do right, but I start crying.
Oh,
like
no.
not like upset crying.
No, I understand.
But like it really is a powerful emotion. But I think when patients see that doctors are human, like they have a reaction like that and they own up to it, or they make a mistake and they own up to it, or when you're talking about a loved one's loss or a new diagnosis and you cry, patients like that.
Yeah.
Doctors think they have to be some kind of robot or something. That's not necessarily true.
You mentioned your friend Amanda Serrano. So she had that cut back in November, and then I saw.
So worried about
you saw her again when she fought.
Yeah.
So this is the cut on the night.
Yeah.
And then in the aftermath, it's clear that like okay, this is it in the process of getting better, and then in the end, there's like a little I don't know what would you call it because when I saw her on Fight Week, going up against Katie Taylor, you could tell that there's
scar tissue.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so what happens when that skin stretches, it loses a little bit of its elasticity. And scar tissue is not as strong as the original tissue. That's why you see fighters who have a history of cuts get more likely to be opened up in the middle of a fight.
Nate Diaz is one.
Yeah, exactly.
Your friend.
Yeah.
Yes. So do you think this will plague her for the rest of her career?
To some degree, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
hopeful that her defense is so good that she doesn't need to worry
Sure.
about it. But
What do you think of her? And there she is right after. I mean, like that is bad, right?
yeah. I mean, I was texting her, really worried about that. So I'm glad she.
What do you think of the fight?
Which?
The one against Katie. The last one.
Well, yeah, I was gonna
the
say,
third one, the one that you were just at.
I thought she won the first 2 fights against Katie. I would firmly believe that. This one, I felt like she lost, and she went out on her shield. She tried her best, and I'm proud of her for that. I love her. Yeah.
You're a good friend. Okay, what about weight cuts? So you have some experience now with weight cuts. We've seen some very scary ones. I want to show you a guy named William Gomis. He's a French fighter. This is him on the scale about 9 or 10 months ago. Look at this. Walking up like that. What are you seeing here?
I mean, he's definitely unsteady on his feet. The prediction here is that it's due to dehydration, but obviously hard to know. And when you're that unsteady, obviously it's signaling that if it's due to dehydration, it's severe.
Yeah.
It's at a place where you desperately need hydration. But I believe, I don't know how it is in UFC, are you allowed to get IV hydration after a weigh-in?
No.
Yeah, so like
Because you
that's really the only way to recover quickly from that.
That fight got canceled.
I believe it. It should have been canceled.
I feel like they constantly dodge bullets with the weigh-ins. Like the fact that there has not been a serious incident.
Very lucky. And this doesn't apply to professional sports only. Collegiate wrestling, this happens to a huge degree. And what people don't understand is they think, oh, maybe I'll be a little fatigued. No, this is throwing your electrolytes out of balance. And electrolytes can impact your cardiac performance, your brain performance. If it's severe enough, your heart can stop. Your brain can herniate. People don't understand how dangerous these extreme weight cuts can be on their body.
What about the tactics that people use? Like some fighters will actually put a bike in a sauna.
Yeah, or they put on the sauna suit.
So there's a guy named Chris Eubank. You know Chris Eubank? He's a boxer. This is him in one of those things here.
Yeah,
he looks like skin and bones.
Yeah.
Is this stuff not healthy or?
Yeah, I mean, look, if he's aware of the risks, he's an adult making a choice that he's allowed to make. I wouldn't recommend this ever for anyone.
No.
But
isn't it crazy? He missed by 0.2 and had to pay $500,000.
Yeah.
It seems all a little bit archaic, does it not?
It feels like there's a better way. I agree with you.
Yeah. What is that way? Do you have any idea?
Maybe it's about creating different time frames for when the weigh-ins need to happen.
Okay.
Because if you make the weigh-in day of the fight, now there's no rehydration.
But is that dangerous? Because it's not.
Well, dangerous in what sense? Maybe you remove the urgency to even want a weight cut because you're saying like, oh, I don't want to go into the fight weaker. So maybe you're decreasing the human. Again, when you're thinking about these things, you can have all the theories you want. But ultimately, it's how the human psyche reacts. So you have to trial different things and find out what works best. Like expert opinion, what I'm telling you right now is the worst form of evidence. Like I'm giving you the worst answer. The best answer is let's try different avenues and see what works.
Okay.
And that's one potential way to do it. Make it on fight night. See what happens. Maybe you're right. Maybe it'll be more dangerous. Maybe I'm right and it'll be less dangerous.
Sure.
Maybe it'll be good in the beginning and then people will adapt and find some new thing and it'll become more dangerous later on and we have to adapt. The only way we'll know is with an experiment.
When you had to do your cuts, did you do anything drastic?
No, it was a pretty progressive weight loss through my training. And then in the last 24 hours, decreasing water.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anything you do differently this time around if you fought again?
I don't know. With the weight cut, I wouldn't do so much. I just think I would plan my training a bit differently. I think I was just going all out training in every session because I wanted to give it my all. And as someone who hypocritically talks about recovery being important, I don't think I thought about that.
Okay. Yeah. Let me ask you about another one. Here's Cody Rhodes. What's going on here with Cody Rhodes? You know Cody Rhodes? This is the pec. Yes, the famous pec. It looked like it was... This
is one of my most watched YouTube videos.
Is it really?
Reacting to these injuries. To me, this looks like a pec tear just because of the amount of bleeding.
And that's legit, right? You don't think they were fake? No, but based on what you see here, like that could happen to the body, right?
Absolutely.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
A pec tail, what turns it into that color?
The fact that when you're tearing the fibers of the muscle, you have bleeding, and that's what bleeding looks underneath the skin. Jeez. And that will change colors as time goes on, as your body starts metabolizing the blood that's in that space. You'll start seeing it turn brown, then yellow, and only then will it start to fade. So it'll change all sorts of colors.
Was it not smart for him to compete with that?
I mean, I don't even know when he competed after that or during it.
Like in that state.
Because I saw the clip and it happened, and then did he continue?
He had a match. Like he got the injury before, and then he wrestled in that
Yeah, I
state.
mean, it's definitely a risky
Because
proposition. Yeah.
could that be something that would
Damage
affect
it further?
him? Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Especially if it was only a partial tear. I mean, we obviously don't know the extent of that damage. We could only see that through imaging. Like, as much as I want to have penetrating vision into people's bodies, but imagine if it was only a partial tear, that's, X number of months of recovery. But imagine now he goes out, pushes himself further, tears other tissue, damages ligaments, because muscles are also protective for tendons, ligaments that connect bone to bone. And if the muscle's not there, you have no protection. That's why some people will train really hard cardio, be all out of breath, have weak muscles, and then go and squat heavy. That's really dangerous because now all of your muscles that are stabilizing normally during the squat are not there. You could really hurt your back.
Are you familiar with the oblique kick? This is an MMA move that some people are wanting to ban.
Oh, okay.
John Jones has made it famous. It's a kick. So
the one that numbs the.
Well, it's right to the knee here.
Oh, okay.
It's right to the knee here, and he kicks it almost straight on, which
tears all the
makes the leg go straight like that. Yeah. Rampage Jackson, who he is fighting in this.
In a situation like that, you'd be worried about the PCL.
Yeah. Do you think that's dirty? Do you think that should be illegal?
I mean, I don't know. That's fight makers' rules. I don't think I have the capacity to say whether or not that's dirty. But I will say it's dangerous for.
It could cause a lot of damage, right?
Absolutely. I mean, a year's worth of damage. I mean, any leg kick can cause huge damage. Legs are stronger than the upper body. And when you're doing that to an area that is unsecure, like the knee is, you can get a lot of damage very quickly.
Speaking of leg kicks, we have seen something called drop foot.
Yep.
With the,
that's what I thought you were going to go.
The perennial nerve,
yep.
Where Michael Chandler, Sean O'Malley, Henry Cejudo experiences. This is Michael Chandler, where all of a sudden he can't stand anymore.
Yeah. Isn't that
what a
wild?
Crazy thing.
Yeah. I mean, you've hit your funny bone before.
Yes.
It feels terrible, right? Numbness, tingling. But imagine instead of like lightly tapping it on the table, you're getting kicked by an MMA fighter. So it temporarily paralyzes the nerve. And you start having loss of sensation, loss of proprioception, which is knowing where that joint is in space. So imagine your foot's dangling and you don't know where it is in space. You don't know how to correct in order to stand properly. You land terribly, you tear your ankle.
You said temporary. Could it be forever?
Sure. Damage the nerve enough, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In that moment?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
Have you ever experienced that?
No.
I
don't think I have.
What about Robert Whitaker? This guy, his teeth, I know you're not a dentist, but you say you see it all.
Yeah, we need to call one of my good friends, Dr. Daniel Rubenstein.
Have you seen this photo of this guy's teeth? It they came out and they were almost like displaced. You see that?
Yeah, it looks like a
jaw
injury. Yeah.
From a neck crank.
Yeah. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, these guys are so strong.
Yes,
it's absolutely.
And then he just comes back and fights. Like if that would have happened to me in any sort of walk of life, I'd be like, I'm not doing that thing anymore. These guys are like, yeah, I'll be back at it.
But you know what I will say? Some of these guys will say, if I went on television and I had a bad interview, I would never go out again.
Sure.
I'm sure you could say you've had a few bad interviews.
1,000%. Is there any part of you that when you see these combat sports and you say like, this is a little crazy, like the human body?
Yeah, all of it's crazy. NFL's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst one.
I mean, if you think about what the gladiators did in Rome.
Yeah.
And the fall of the Roman Empire. I know like guys love to talk about Rome.
Yeah.
You think about the fall of the Roman Empire. Are we seeing shades of that today? We go to Colosseums. We watch people beat on each other. We watch young men beat on 50-year-old men on Netflix.
I like the shade. I just thought
that was dangerous.
You didn't like that one?
Yeah, I don't think
you weren't a fan of it.
I mean, I've seen how medical committees stop fights based on like really arbitrary findings, and in that scenario, with the age that Mike Tyson was, I just think that
you don't think he should have been allowed to fight.
Yeah,
very clearly.
Yeah,
and
I mean, that could have ended terribly.
Sure.
Like, what would happen if he wasn't the same after that? What would happen if he lost his life?
And he had some health issues before.
Yeah. So what happens to Netflix in that moment?
No, it's not good. There's a big risk.
Understatement for Netflix, but also for Mike Tyson.
Sure.
Legend.
And for Jake and for everything that they're trying to do, right? So when you hear about CTE and stuff, we just had an ugly incident, horrific incident here in New York City, right? Do you think we still don't know, like we're just scratching the surface with CTE? Because I feel like 20 years ago, no one talked about CTE and more we're hearing these stories.
We do know way more than we used to. Even during my residency training, I was wanting to subspecialize in sports medicine. I would go to the annual sports medicine conventions, and there was talk about looking at pathology, looking at people's brains after being professional athletes, being NFL players. They were putting in these G meters in people's helmets to see when they experienced the biggest blows to their head. And ironically, some of the research found that some of the biggest blows to the head came during celebrations.
Oh, wow.
Like, like when they hit each other in the head and all that stuff, because they're not prepared for it and they're thinking they're going to celebrate. So there's been some interesting research on that side, but we know what CTE is on pathology, but we don't yet quite know how to catch it in someone who's actively experiencing it.
Okay.
How do we mitigate that damage outside of just saying, stop performing, stop playing your sport? That's hard to hear for professional athletes. They don't want to hear it a lot of times. I've been on, because I used to do sideline work as a doctor as part of my residency training. I saw a young gentleman on a field go on, get a concussion, sweetest guy ever. After the concussion, cursing out his athletic trainers, his staff. They're saying, we don't recognize him. We don't understand what's going on. Instant emergency room, bleed in the brain.
Oh, wow. So what was that role that you had? You were on the sidelines for...
Sideline doctor, yeah.
For football games?
Yeah.
College?
High school.
High school, okay.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I loved it. That's what I was going to do before this whole social media thing blew up.
Okay, so you wanted to have a specialty in sports.
Yeah.
Is that still a possibility or there's no real...
I mean, what ends up happening, because I'm sort of athletic myself, I have this passion in looking at sports content, I've kind of got a reputation with my colleagues of, if they have someone who is an athlete or someone has a musculoskeletal injury, they end up sending them my way.
Okay. How do you deal with, like, you're critical of Gary Brecka. I'm sure there are people who make videos critical of you.
Sure.
How do you deal with that?
I actually try and read as much negative criticism as possible.
Really?
Because even if it's 99% wrong, there's still a kernel of truth where you can get better. And that's not good for the mental health.
Yes.
So like
I'll read people say, like, you're shit at your job, you suck, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I mean, that's
and then you feel down. But like, you sit here and you feel down. You have to go and talk to human beings about life and death, like real things.
Right.
How do you not let that affect you?
Well, because like, you look at the seriousness comparison.
Right.
Like when I go in and I'm talking to someone about their child getting a cancer diagnosis or losing their life, I see the hierarchy there. Like, that's a lot more serious than someone saying you're stupid on social media. So it actually allows me to have a better...
But it never makes you feel sort of, you question your not your worth, but like confidence level goes down. You start to second guess yourself. You start to doubt.
Imposter syndrome? You mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that happens to everyone. And I think as time goes on, you learn to combat it better. You also have colleagues you can talk to. I mean, I'm the first person to recommend working with a therapist. I've worked with a therapist because we all need it. It's like, I'm confused by our society. If someone has an injury, everyone's like, I need physical therapy. I want to rehab. But if they have a mental health thing going on, they're really resistant to mental health therapy. And it's just another part of the body. I'm not sure where that criticism comes from. I mean, I know historically, but I wish internally we didn't have that.
Do you come up with all the ideas for your videos, or do you have a team who say, like, we should do this?
99%.
Is you? Yeah. Damn. Is it because you're like type A personality?
No. I would love if I could find a person, and I've tried to have people come up with ideas. I think because I'm in this unique crossroads, marketing, medicine, healthcare, sports, it's hard to find a person who gets all those worlds. Like, I have a great producer, managing editor, Sam Bowers. He does a phenomenal job in helping me execute the channel. When he came on, he had some great ideas about things we could do for the channel, but they weren't medically accurate. Like, he's like, let's answer this question. I'm like, that doesn't have an answer. Like, what's the best thing to drink when you have a headache? I'm like, I don't know the answer to that. It's a great video. It would make a great clickbait title. So you need someone who understands the limitations of healthcare, the knowledge of healthcare, but also the production side, the click-worthiness side, the analytics side of social media. So it's rare that you find someone who understands all those worlds.
Are there any Dr. Mike products?
No.
There's nothing, and I'm sure people have come to you.
I mean, like, we have merch.
No. I mean, like stuff to take. Yeah. Have people come to you?
Of course. Tens of millions of dollars in offers.
And why?
They don't work. It's bullshit.
All of them?
All of them.
You've not found one?
No.
Is there any part
I wish.
Is there any
Ariel, do you know how much I wish I had a product?
A multivitamin.
I think they're useless in most cases. Like, okay,
I like how dismissive you are. Very doctor-like.
In someone who's trying to get pregnant or is pregnant, there's room for some vitamins. If you're deficient in iron and you're anemic, there's room for iron. If you're vitamin D deficient, proven, you need vitamin D. Like, there's avenues for it. But the way that people sell them is truly irresponsible. Like, the supplement industry is a disaster. Like, me and you right now can like spill a bunch of powder on this table of whatever ingredients we want. We can bottle it up, put it in the little capsules, slap on it Ariel's and Mike's magic formula, Magic Mike's formula maybe.
Yeah.
Sell it, say that like, but not say that it doesn't, but like write on the label, faster, stronger, better. There's no one to regulate it.
Sure.
The only time the FDA will get involved is if there's obvious pattern of people hurting themselves or losing their lives. That's terrible, that the fact that it's so unregulated. And Gary Brecka is like a prime example of peddling in that sphere.
So is there any desire on your end to have something, or you don't care about that?
I would love to make a product. I love green tea, right?
Okay.
I think in general, it's like a healthy thing to drink. It's not a miracle. I just like it, right? And I think that potentially there's some good nutrients in there. Just like, we could say carrots are good, but you eat too many carrots, you'll turn orange. So
is that legit, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
wow.
Beta carotene, yeah.
Okay.
So green tea, I love green tea. I'm like, I should make my own green tea. That's a product I love. Let's call it the doctor's tea. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, wink. But then it's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to white label some product that someone else sourced and I have no control over it. How can I honestly come on your show and say, drink my green tea? Because why? Why is my green tea better than everyone else's? I can't be fake like that. I don't know. Some people are good salesmen. I'm not.
Do you have any desire to host one of these shows? I feel like you'd be perfect. Dr. Oz, Dr.
I mean, do those shows exist? I feel like that's my show now.
You are, I know, but like there's some prestige, linear television, daytime, 4 o'clock. No
dead.
more. It's dead.
Dead.
Is it? How old are you, by the way?
35.
So you're probably of the era who's like, I don't know.
It used to be huge.
Yes.
I mean, like that was the dream back then. I was actually offered my own network syndicated across the country
this is what I'm talking
TV
about.
show. I was a week away from filming it. And they sent me the final contract. I cleared the dates for filming with my hospital, all the good stuff. And in the contract, they had one word that stipulated I couldn't overrule the other producers when it came to a sponsorship. So I'm like, wait, why is that? Tell me what sponsors they have. And it came all those bullshit supplements.
Oh, really?
All of them. And I'm like, no. I need equal say that if I want to rule something out from the show, I want to have the power to do that. And they said no. And I threw the show out. I didn't care.
Wow.
It was 7 figures.
Really?
Yeah, easiest walk away ever. Sad, but
Yeah.
easiest walk away ever.
And that's not something that you are longing for now. Don't need it.
I think since
you have
then,
the platform.
I think since then it's died. I think
medium.
social media is the new frontier. You're the new frontier. Podcasts are really exciting. I think that's where people want to go to see truth. You know why? And I actually was talking to your producer outside. People hate getting canceled.
Yes.
They don't like the term canceled. I think the fact that you are cancelable and I'm cancelable is a good thing because people know that we're going to be authentic as possible because we don't want to be canceled.
Right.
Versus if a big company, I don't want to name a specific newspaper company, but let's say there's a media company, they get something wrong, they do something terrible, they fire that person, but the company stays intact. The shareholders are still making money. But for us, if we truly do something untrue or lie, that's going to be a cancelable offense. So I think that keeps us transparent and honest and actually works in our favor.
Okay, just a couple more I'll hit you with. Can you tell by looking at someone that they're on steroids?
No.
You can't?
Mm-mm. I know there's a lot of guys on social media that are doing that, but I mean, you got to be honest and say that there's genetic abnormalities that people have a lot of muscle or something. So you could have high suspicions.
Yes.
I mean, like, look, this is the same way that I could say, can you look at someone who sprained their ankle and say that 100% certainty they broke their ankle?
Right.
Well, if it's like, at an angle, yeah. But in reality, if it's just swollen, no. I could have a high suspicion of one and say we need to get the x-ray, but I can't know for sure.
Okay.
So anyone who's doing it is doing it for clicks.
And there's a lot of that.
There's a lot. I mean, you know that.
Yeah. Is almond milk bad for you?
I don't even know what that means.
Because I drink a lot of almond milk, and the guys tell me...
Who's telling you it's bad for you? Gary Brecka?
No, these guys who I work with. You got to have the cow's milk. You got to have the real stuff. I love my almond milk. Is that bad?
I think
every time I go on Instagram, it's like, this is bad, this is bad.
That's the problem. Like,
yes.
An honest nutritionist, an RD is probably a better thing to say, registered dietitian, would never label a food good or bad. Because it depends. Like, if you're a healthy adult with no medical problems, having a bite of chocolate is not bad. Like, the people who are villainizing hot dogs and all that, Like, yeah, because we're over consuming them in the American standard diet. We already have pre-existing health conditions. In those instances, they're bad. But if you have a hot dog at a baseball game and you're judging someone for that and you're saying this is bad, come on, like, you're not a realist.
How old should you be to get how old do you suggest someone gets a colonoscopy?
45.
45.
Yeah,
Because there's a push for earlier. There's a history.
There's a history, family history. Then you want to do it 10 years before that person's diagnosis.
So even
like, let's say they were age 50 when they were diagnosed. 40.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And there is potentially changes coming on the horizon.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, not necessarily with colonoscopies, but perhaps with other colon cancer screening methods. So.
What, with the pills and stuff like that?
Like you're talking about capsule endoscopy.
Yeah,
not necessarily. There's some tests looking at reactive agents in the stool that can tell us what cells are present.
Okay. Wow. What's the next thing? What's the thing? You're doing great on the YouTube. You don't need a next thing, but I think we're all kind of designed to be this way. And by the way, is your dog still with us?
So I have 2 dogs that live with me now, and then my Siberian Husky, who I started this whole journey with. She's okay. She's 3 legs, still pushing on.
3 legs?
Yeah, although now she's coming to the end of her life, I feel like.
You know, I think like one of the first times I ever came across you was you giving your dog a bath.
Okay, those dogs are great.
Those dogs, the big one.
Yeah, the big one. They're awesome.
This one.
Yeah, Bear's awesome. I was just with him right now.
Okay, wait, this isn't the one with 3 legs?
No, he's doing great.
This is an unbelievable dog.
He's 8.
He's 8? So wait, how many dogs do you have now?
I have 2 like him. So
2 exactly like him?
Yeah, him and another.
Yeah?
Rib. And then I have a Siberian Husky who lives with my dad because she has 3 legs. And she's
okay. And this is what kind of dog?
Newfoundland.
A Newfoundland?
Yeah. Swimming dogs, so sweet.
Are they from Newfoundland? Canada?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. What is the thing? Like, where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years?
I want to be more effective in the current space that I function in. So I want to be able to reach more people, however that may be, whether it's currently I'm writing a fictional medical drama to sell to the streamers.
Wow.
I have some fantastic partners on that, more to be announced on that shortly. Potentially getting into the book space, not with some BS book that really should be a 5-minute TED Talk, but something really valuable that could stand the test of time about how to judge health information as it comes in. And currently I'm training to become a race car driver.
Oh, yes.
Another fun
I saw you with the Ferrari guys, right?
Yeah.
So this is your thing. You love this.
I mean, I've always been a fan of cars, but like now I'm taking it to the extreme. This year, training sessions, training weekends.
You.
Yeah.
Where is this?
That's in Imola at the Ferrari F1 garage.
Now, when you say you're training to become a race car driver, like at what level?
I'm training for the Ferrari Challenge race series.
Okay.
Which is kind of a semi-pro amateur series.
And what would that be akin to? Is that like F1?
No, it's very far from F1, but the cars are extremely high performance. They almost look like GT3 cars. If you see those. But it's for people who are very passionate about racing, who are not professionals. Although some of the people that are doing well in that league right now could easily become professionals.
And how long are the races?
That's next year. I haven't yet fully committed to that. I'll find out.
No, but meaning like one of these races.
There in a season, there's 6 races.
Yeah.
And the final one is in Italy. The school that I'm doing is called Corso Pilota. It's a racing training program where there's 3 levels: sport, Evo, and race. And I'm doing the final stage of that race in Laguna Seca come September.
And this is like a thing you've always wanted to do. You've always been a fan.
Money?
No, I'm talking like bucket list. I don't know what the word was.
It is expensive.
Yes.
It's
an
what?
Expensive I was going to say bucket list, but I didn't want to like offend you. I feel like
why is bucket list?
I feel like bucket list.
You think I'm that easily offended?
No, not really.
I got punched in the face. It's pretty bad.
We misuse that term.
We do. Well, what's the correct?
Well, because bucket list is like when you're about to die, kick the bucket.
Well, yeah, before you die, you want to accomplish these things.
Yeah, but you're not about to die, so I didn't want to.
In the same way that I try and tell my patients who are 30 years old hey, like we need to plan what you want at the end of life, I think this is a fair question.
Okay, but the big thing is...
it is a bucket list thing.
The big thing is you versus RFK.
Yes.
Jr.
That's what I want.
That's
Secretary Kennedy versus Dr. Mike, fight card, Misfits,
and
Netflix.
I noticed you said Misfits and not MVP.
Well, just because they had the tag team thing.
Right. Well, no, but I'm thinking you versus him.
I mean, sure.
I feel like that would make it a lot easier.
MVP, Nikisa, reach out. Let's do it.
Okay, love it. Dr. Mike,
thank you
man.
so much, Ariel. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for doing this. Really, I know you're so busy.
Come on.
You coming in was a lot of fun. There he is, Dr. Mike, the one and only. We'll take a quick break. Answer more of your questions. Do not go anywhere. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.